Good morning. Happy Sunday, Naomi Tucker Keith. If you still here, coming from a sunny Laurel Park. Again, we had a wonderful day yesterday, and I guess Mother Nature has blessed us with another stellar day.
2 in a row. I love it. Just keep it rolling like this. It's just extremely comfortable. Sun is shining. Just a few clouds in the sky, and yeah, yesterday's car was pretty good. I mean, we were around it a lot. You know, I was discussing with the guys upstairs. You know, these races that are thrown at us each and every day, and we're giving out picks. Biggest thing to do too is look at the top four, especially the way I kind of throw them out there. I'll let you know if I really like a horse to win or to key. There's nuggets in there, and there's four picks sometimes that you'll get 8, 10 to 1. Make sure you're betting a couple dollars flat on those horses as well. You kind of got to diversify, if I could use a term, when you're attacking these races, the way they kind of go with the bigger fields and the turf racing. So, yeah, make sure. Don't just kind of always single in on one. Look for that value because it's going to be up there within our picks. I know that.
No, I agree with you there, especially the turf fields. They've been pretty hard to decipher, but if you can box a couple of horses, you might just get quite a big payout here. But let's have a look at the Turf Festival actually coming up. Like I said, turf action galore, and we are looking ahead to the Laurel Summer Turf Festival June 19th. Also Father's Day. We have a buffet going on there too. Stormy Blues, All Brandy, Fine Stakes, those two for the Maryland bred Maryland sires. Look, summer is in full swing here at Laurel Park, so we're very glad to be racing on the gorgeous grass here. So let's have a look at the turf track as well as the main track. We're racing on fast and firm going.
Yeah, I mean, inside still pretty good on this main track. Speed holding for the most part. Turf very fair. As you talked about it, just a lush turf course right now, manicured beautifully by our turf crew. Thanks to them and the hard work our track maintenance crew does each and every day. It's a real team effort to keep this place and the tracks in the condition that they are. So they're kind of like the unsung heroes. They lie behind the scenes, kind of like our racing office. So yeah, the grooms on the backside, you name it. I mean, that's the key about racing. So many people just kind of go unrecognized that should be recognized and taken care of. So just remember that, you know, that because of them, we've got this great sport.
I agree with you there. And look, I was just looking at the turf track. I should just be running laps on the turf track, I think. I went for a run this morning, but this looks way better than the streets that I was jogging on. So excited to have horses running on the turf again today. But let's get going with race number 1. I decided to go with an early pick 5 sequence, and this is how I play it. Race number 1, 3 deep, 3, 5, and 7. Race number 2, that optional claim of starts and last. 4 deep in there, that sprint race. 1, 2, 3, and 6. I feel like the field is just kind of close together. Did not want to get shut out early. Race number 3, 3 deep there. 9, 10, and 13. That mile and 16 on the turf. Really hope I'm right there because that's a tough field.
Exactly.
I had to come up with a single, and we all landed on the same horse, Frosted Indian. Oh my! Let's hope that Jamie Ness has got this horse on song like he was last time. I'd only just got bested by Flowers for Lisa, which is a very tough runner. I think that runner himself had been running in stakes company when he was younger too. So tough individual. Hope Frosted Indian can get that value for us by, you know, slam dunking the single. 5-8 in the finale. Race number 5 for me. $36 flat ticket because of that single. So let's talk about race number 1. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. No rail here. Optional claim and start allowance for the ladies. And Keith, you landed on the number 3, Chargina, for trainer Todd Beatty. She gets back on the grass. She's run mostly on the all-weather as of recent, but she has a very strong late close, and I think that the turf here could bring that back out again.
Yeah, some positives that you're looking here for some of the turf on these trainers. Just not a whole lot to kind of go on, but Chargina ran pretty well. You're going back to last spring, Pimlico on the 14th of May behind Beantown Baby and some other really good horses. That was a loaded field Preakness weekend and kind of got stuck in behind some horses, some trouble. Bill had a good comment in there, forced to wait at the quarter pole. Came back out of that race and ran a really good third. Now, interesting, the blinkers are now off. Those races on the turf were with blinkers. We'll see if that affects her, but Smart has done well. First-time runners working well. We've got a couple Grantville horses coming in from Penn National up there in Grantville, PA. But, yeah, I think Chargina has enough flow to target, and you got Carrasco to make that charge into it through the final furlong.
Yeah, Carrasco does ride this turf very, very well here. We've seen it time and time again. I landed on Made to Hustle. 3rd career start on the turf, both occasions were by far her career best performances, including her only win to date, wiring the field. Unfortunately for her, she probably does have to work for it from the outside to get to the front. I thought that her name was pretty appropriate here, Made to Hustle. She might just actually have to do that to get to the lead here, but if she can, I think she's going to be very tough.
Yeah, she may have to deal with La Familia from the inside, who's very quick, has some very good gate speed. We saw Whispering Kitten yesterday, relaxed, 3 wide, and is a horse that likes to be forward. If these horses kind of relax and get that flow that they like and are comfortable for the first, 3/16, quarter, they can continue that run. And I think, again, Made to Hustle. Look at who she got beat by at Penn National last summer, Miss Majorette. Recently stakes placed at Belmont, a horse that's definitely gone on the improve. So the company lines are there. Musical Cat has handled synthetic, has handled the main track, going off the claimer. I think this is another live one to rally into it. And Miss Foxanne has some turf breeding. Did look her up. She's half to Bathabara, 2 for 11, 7 for 11 in the money on the grass top. That is 67. And that stallion, Cantheros, they run on anything.
They do, yeah, very much like Cantheros. I don't see too many of them here, but they indeed are very flexible. So a couple of horses to use here in race number 1 as we get going with race number 2. Option to claim and starts allowed. Started the early pick 4. So Keith had created an early pick 5. Now we're not alive anymore. They can jump right back in with your early pick 4.
They can jump in and look at that again. You see 4 by 4 by 1 by 3, $24 ticket. Yeah, I'm hoping the single comes in. It's that tough of a stretch. You have to invest. Maybe work off of this. Grab a friend if you want to add another horse in the 4th or anywhere else on this sequence. Go right ahead. But I go 1, 2, 3, 6 to get you started. Spicy Margarita is my top selection there in race number 2. Race 3 with the 5, 7, 9, and 10. Man, lots of ways to go in the 3rd. Single. I'm on Frosted Indian. We're going to need you on or just off the pace and wrap it up in the 5th with the 3, 4, and 8. A little price play in there for the 3. Barb the Boss. Leonardo Corojo, the Frocks. Let's see. $24 for the early pick 4. Add as you like, because I think we may have to.
I really hope that single's going to come in, but if you want to add a couple of horses, I probably encourage you to do that in that leg. Race number 2, 6 furlongs distance, optional claimer starter allowance. So we do have a video spotlight here, so might as well get going with her. She is my top choice. You used her underneath, swaying to and fro. Quick 10-day turnaround here. We saw her on the 26th of May at Pimlico. She was claimed out of that last race, and she was part of an early pace contest. Her being on the outside, the 2 of them, as you can see, separate themselves from the group in front. She leaves that foe behind and just comfortably clears there.
If I remember Barbosa kind of looking back for a little bit of competition, there was none. And man, ran off and hid. Was prepped down at Ellery, came in April up here, worked well. Now goes off the claim, first off the claim. We'll see what this horse reacts because the number was certainly there. Going to come back to a 70, we'll see. The only thing I didn't like is staying on that left lead through the stretch. Going to be a shorter price, 9 to 5 on the line, might be even a little shorter scratch at the bottom. Hot looking Royal, who look like part of the flow. I like Spicy Margarita. Was a vet scratch recently out of a tougher field. Comes back with some okay works leading into it. And I go back to that race on September the 23rd, and albeit it was on a muddy sealed surface. Those internals were equal. The first tick might have been a little bit faster than 3 other than kind of horses. Spicy Margarita with Cruz will be on the engine from the inside. Let's see if she can take them coast to coast.
Yeah, I was looking at her as well now. A 3-year-old has early speed and returns to her winning at distance. Like you said, she was going pretty fast early there, so I see her trying something similar there from the inside gate. I use the number 6, Date Night Kisses, as well. Underneath you have her 2. She has pace, and she probably going to have a little bit of a pace angle over, for example, swaying to and fro, but she will probably have to sit off maybe Spicy Margarita. Rockin' Hippie Chip is fast as well, but she gets back on a fast surface today, and second after the claim for trainer Jamie Ness, which certainly can bring her back forward as well.
I thought she'd be on the lead in that last race, just couldn't get it. Now comes back to a fast track, second off the claim. You talk about Ness, it's always a solid number there for that one. Rockin' Hippie Chick, improving form every step of the way. We'll save ground with Barbosa, and we'll rally into this.
Race number 3 is a maiden claiming race, $25,000 to $20,000. We're back on the turf, mile and 16. The distance, rail 52 feet. We're on the Dahlia course. And what's that with your top selection here, Keith? That is the number 10, Solomon's Choice, for trainer Linda Albert. Dropping ever so slightly back down from that maiden 40 that he ran at last time out, but then goes back to some of his better performances, albeit that was on the main track, so does have to replicate that a little bit on the turf, but does get Forest Boys to ride, which we always like here on the grass.
Yeah, my top top selection was scratch Captain Quinn. Take out the 4 and the 6. Now coming in are going to be the 13 and 14. So make note of that. Off the also eligible the alternates there. 13 and 14 will run. I got really no clue in this race, to be honest with you. I mean, I think Stimulus Maker, looking at the breeding, you've got a fed business 14% is going to be up on the engine, going to lead a long way, I believe. Might have to deal with Hindenburg, but I go with the 10, Solomon's Choice, wide every step of the way. Now we go to Boyce. No knock against Macleo Enriquez. This rider, Force, she relishes the turf.
Yes.
Going to be able to get any chance she can get into safe ground going to. This horse brought a little bit of late life in that race. It's going to be a grind to the wire in race 3, so definitely box these 4. Even if you want to take those 4 on top and throw a horse or 2 underneath, there should be value. I don't think you've got to demand at least 3 to 1. I think on any of these horses.
Exactly. I mean, I ended up using the AE runner Transit on top for Elizabeth Voss. Draws in, has plenty of experience on the turf. Gets Virgil Lynch on board. We always like him riding turf here as well. Very lightly raced for his age, 5-year-old, making his 4th career start. Was part of a strong pace at Colonial last time out and only got beaten by 3 lengths. And I guess the question is going to be, is he going to be ready? But if you look at the Voss barn, they do well with horses coming back of long layoffs. So I'm taking a bit of a flyer with a runner from the outside who I think has the ability to kind of swoop up around the outside, keep that momentum going and not really get into too much trouble.
Sometimes these horses, too, they head out to the hills and some unsanctioned little races that we don't pick up in the form and things of that nature that keep the fitness up. So, yeah, that horse is going to be part of the flow. We'll have to deal with Stimulus Maker, I think, up front. Let's see if this horse can finish. Rip It's a horse. You're looking at a bigger price.
Yeah.
Really no good off the break, but has back numbers that certainly would work, has shown the ability to cover the ground. And the 9 Giant Spain, who I think is going to be the favorite in here for Sarah Nagel coming up from Florida off the claim. A kind of a belated style of run, but this just might be the class in the group that gets this guy over the top. We shall see. Double key race last time out.
Yeah, Rip It, I had him on and off. In the end, I just left him up. I feel like he's impeccably bred. Jobmont homebred, was with Clermont, then to Troy Holland. Just hasn't fulfilled his potential.
No.
I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach to see if he gets the job done in here. I think there's a couple others that I favor over him. As we get going with race number 4, optional claimers starter allowance, 7 furlongs. The distance, and we have another video spotlight in here on the number 5. Both of us use him underneath. That is Rapid Response for trainer Lacey Gaudet. You can see him there. It's a very tactical runner. He was able to sit behind a decent early pace there with Pepe and Haywood in front. Moves up on the turn. Looks just to be so much in hand. Like Bryson had a lot of horse there, and it didn't feel like you even had to ask him really. He was just doing it within himself.
A little bit of a drop in class to this guy. I mean, just woke up and just cruised up from between horses and gets the lead, and it's gonna. I think we put in there, the old eager and ridden out. So we talk about that comment when we use it here in our Echo-based comments and the footnotes, the shorter notes as well. Take note, go back and watch the video. That's why we're going to show this. So the confidence has got to be high right now for Rapid Response. There is a little bit of speed to deal with, but man, he brings a good finish from the quarter pole home. Back up a little protect move here for Lacey Gaudet and company.
Yeah, I like him in this spot, but I guess we've kind of both made our bed here.
Yes,
singling
we're going to have to lay in it, yes.
Frosted Indian, the number 2 for trainer Jamie Ness. He has been the beaten favorite in his last 3 runs. Turns back to 7 furlongs today, makes his Laurel Park debut. But did get a perfect trip on the lead last time out. Ended up being nabbed by Flowers for Lisa. And I had a look at Flowers for Lisa. Was quite a talented runner back in his days. Now a bit of an older horse, but still has that kind of bigger performance in him. Showed it on the day. So Frosted Indian not disgraced, even though by all virtue he should have won that race after the trip he got.
8 clear of the rest though. And I like that short comment, in hand, inside, so the ability to maybe to throttle a little bit of that speed down, and if he gets a target, he shows races on his page where he's able to run into the pace sprinting, so I think that's okay. Frosted Inning, but I say lying there and wait, it's going to be Silent Malice. Is a horse that loves Laurel Park and handle this 7/8 of a mile distance. I think ran pretty good last time against the grain of the racetrack, made a move into it, into a lone speed, was willing, but that day it was really hard to close ground. So I give a little pass to that effort. Still, numbers are good pairing up. Mid-70s is probably going to win this race.
I agree with you there. I was looking at that last race. Tried to kick into a blue-coated pace, which time from US means not too fast, and it's hard for horses to do when the horse is in front. Really haven't done much running yet, so they got plenty of gas still left to kick away. So Silent Malice, I think that was a better run than it looks like on paper. What he tried to do. I think there's more flow in here for him to be a bit more of a danger. So let's hope he doesn't get to our single. Going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with the rest of the card.
When it comes to getting back in the game, there's only one team to turn to. The team more high school, collegiate, and professional athletes train and recover with. That team is MedStar Sports Medicine. For more than 30 years, MedStar has served as a leader in the diagnosis, treatment, and rehabilitation of orthopedic and sports-related injuries. Ranked among the top programs in the Maryland and Washington regions, we offer rapid access to athletes of all levels. Let the pros who treat the pros treat you. MedStar Sports Medicine.
Welcome back to Laurel Park, race number 5, maiden claiming $10,000 to $8,000 fillies and mares, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, 6 furlongs the distance. We have similar picks, different order though. We'll start with your top selection here. Candy Corner for Dove Houghton. Returns to the maiden 10 level for the first time this season. Has run a decent race last time at it, trying to take them all the way. Went at maiden 10, 3 starts back. Can we see her close to the lead again today, or trying that same trick?
I think so. I mean, this race here, this is kind of like the third,
this
looking at how tough it is getting through. So yeah, I can see that. I'm going to kind of jump in on Candy Corner a little bit, and maybe even Barb DeBoss with the improve. I think this horse is going to run a little bit better. Improvement in latest, has to act a little bit better. But Candy Corner, I think, is the one that rallies into this afternoon. You're kind of going to go back 2 races off the break. Was caught 6 wide, a little bit of a run, and then last time just lost all chance when breaking awkwardly and caught again 4 and 5 wide. Clean break. I think she can sneak up to the pace.
I have her underneath, but do you think she has to maybe run back to some of those higher 30 numbers, you know, going towards a 40 here? Because everyone kind of seems to be knocking on that threshold. I landed on the number 8 towards the outside. Tough one for trainer Damon De La Vico. On paper, she looks like she might just be the early speed. She returned from a long year and 3-month layoff with decent enough try before tiring on a muddy surface. Gets a fast track, has plenty of upside in comparison. It's going to be her 3rd start, whereas some others have been kind of showing their hand a little bit. So I'm taking a flyer with Tough One.
You've got a horse to the outside. It's shown a little bit of speed. Now that was going long. Will she be able to kind of get out of position and relax a little bit? She had Poe last time, was sitting just outside, just didn't kick on, and it was a negative drop off of the break. We'll see. Got to bring more finish there. So another race you've got to spread. Harper's Due, you know, it's been fairly consistent from a fig standpoint. Maybe this is the field that kind of comes back to her and she goes by.
Figures seem to be progressively going up, drops back down to the maiden 10. Visually perhaps not as impressive, but this seems to be a softer field than what she saw last time out. Race number 6, we're back on the turf here, 5.5 furlongs. 3 other than optional claim. Now this is a very, very strong field here, race number 6. We'll start with your top selection. That's the number 1, Matitude for trainer Robbie Bills. It's going to be her first time on the turf. Do you believe that you have a stat for her? And she's also looking for a 4th win in a row.
Robbie Bales. Oh man, look at this. Last 90 days, 10 for 24.
Wow.
42% with an ROI of 306. So yeah, turf debut against some fillies and mares that have been proven on the grass, but got a fresh turf course. She's quick. I didn't see that race last time, and man, she just bolted out of there, like blistered opening quarter, kept on going, and I think this is the kind of field you got some horses who kind of want to chase, come from a little further back. She's an improving type. Great Notions can handle the turf. If she cuts the corner in front going into that far turn, I think she might be gone.
I think it'd be very, very interesting. I do believe that she kind of has to show that kind of speed on the turf. Yeah, her dam never ran on turf. One sibling today did, but she didn't seem to take to it. So I took a wait-and-see approach with her. But I love it if she sneaks away here for you as your top selection. Now, I landed on the number 5, Spun Glass for trainer Michael Trombetta. Trombetta has 2 in here. Spun Glass returned after 232-day winter break to run kind of an average race. However, I think that kind of set her up for a race like this. This sets her up for better efforts like her win at Colonial and a decent third at this level last September. Now, Fergal Lynch takes them out. Now, Fergal Lynch and Michael Trombetta, when they paired up over the last 5 years, have hit at 24% winners and 53% in the money on the turf. 4 from 17 winners with an average payoff of $7.19. So I do think that there's a little angle here with spun glass, and I saw that you have her in your exact.
Got to use her. Trombetta's kind of loaded in here. Can't Buy Me Love. We pulled a shocker at 31-1 up in New York. She won't be anywhere close to that. Could be the favorite in this race this afternoon. And Trombe, a little stat for him: 26%. Turf sprints in Maryland coming off of a top figure. So there you go. Can't Buy Me Love. A little different. Might be a little further back at the 5.5 and that 6 in New York. But certainly has shown races and ability in the past going 5.5. That would work. So yeah, Trombetta loaded. Let's look at the 3 though. Coconut Cake. A horse that kind of sometimes flies under the radar.
She does.
But she tries. She gives effort. I thought this was a really good effort in the Dahlia. Had some speed up front. There's Don't Let Sweet Fool You, traffic song kind of ding-donging it into the far turn. Right here, though, she got good position down the backstretch, the gray here, the 4, and just kind of has to wait and wait and wait a little bit more. And I see her more of kind of a closing sprinter. So for her to bring that kind of kick against routers,
here, a little bit traffic.
Yeah, that was it. Right when she was really hit her best stride, Naomi, you're right. She kind of got sawed off, had to regroup. Look, horses to the outside with a little bit of momentum, she turns them away. So I thought this was a really, really good effort. There is going to be speed in this race with Matitude, with Don't Let Sweet Fool You as well. If things do get contested up front, she will be making a run. If she's good, Price sprinting is Spun Glass who Can't Buy Me Love, maybe, maybe not. But I think she's going to be a factor, hard to leave out of your tries and supers.
Well, that's the thing. I think she's going to run up for a prize because, like you said, she tends to kind of fly just a little bit on the radar, but then come up with efforts like that that are sneakily good. So I feel like she could do something similar here today. Hence, I have her in my top 3. Race number 7 is back on the main track. Mile and 16, the distance there. Optional claim a starter allowance. Let's have a look at the video spotlight on the number 7 here, who I ended up not using. Fortune's Fool. He let the leader slip away. This was 2 starts back at Laurel Park, Mile and 16, before kind of joining his company on the backside. Gets a clean trip around him, and when asked by Johan, he just kind of digs in and rolls forward.
Yeah, look, this is the key. How he's traveling right now, well within himself, and he catches a group in here that doesn't have a ton of real pure speed. Rider says go. Now, got away with a little soft through the internals, but really kicks away nicer. They went down and tried Keelan after that. Kind of a failed attempt. The horse took plenty of play, just didn't fire. Maybe something the trip. We don't know the track, but any kind of semblance of this effort, I think he stays around.
I'm normally always the one to be betting some loose speed, so I definitely let him slip underneath the radar. Of course, Johan does very, very well when he partners up with Lacey Godet. So looking forward to seeing if Fortune's Fool indeed can get a bit of a loose lead and then get bold like he did right there, because he looked so comfortable by himself.
He beat the right kind, too. Look at the horses behind him. Rough Sea, I think he came back and ran okay, right? Gloveman, so not like a huge step up against this group today.
Yeah, both you and I landed on the number 2, Honor the Fleet, though. For trainer Kieran McGee's going to be jumping from that inside gate. McGee strong-handed in here with a couple. Second after being claimed for Honor the Fleet, 8-year-old was not visually impressive against tougher 2 other than at Pimlico. Now, that was on Preakness Day. We know that that's a race that came up strong. Every single race was deep on that day, and Black Eyed Susan Day. But he's going to save ground in here. He's won a 2 other than level earlier this year. He really does find the right kind.
He likes, he's had success at Laurel. Now, granted, we're a little different surface than on a lot of the other times that he's been on, but I mean, I really liked him. Was let down on Preakness Day. He came out of the gate, just never looked comfortable. You see the comment, getting out, steadied early. Maybe it was a little bit of an equipment issue there. I don't know. I'll come back and give him one more shot. Shorter run in the turn. He gets position. He has enough speed to be tactical in here. They don't go all the way down with him. Back in for 25. We'll see. I'm definitely going to use him.
I use Yes Sir Colonel as well in here for Irving Velez. Arrives on the back of 2 easy victories. That is at Penn National. We always question, can they transfer the Penn National form? But he's held up his form when arriving at Laurel as well. He's run a decent race. It hasn't won yet, but has run decent enough figures underneath to make him a player.
Yes, and I think either part of the Ness entry works. They don't really have a lot of speed they can rally into. This is an evenly matched field here in race 7, no doubt.
Race number 8 is the first level allowance on the Turf 1 mile for fillies and mares 3-year-old and up. And we have his video spotlight on our exacta play. Look, we got the same horses in our top 4 here. But Bella Belisa for trainer Michael Dickinson, she showed no early pace whatsoever. It seemed like she enjoys doing that. That's her style. That's what she likes to do. Yeah. Fergal takes her the shortest way around, but plenty of other horses are in her way. That's kind of the prerogative of being a closer and trying to find that shortest path. But once she gets a clear path, she is flying home late.
And in front of her, Jenny Highway, who's in today. She follows that one. Jenny Highway had a little trouble early, found the seam. And even outside there, the 7 horse, I believe that they dancing till dusk also had a little trouble and was in front of those 2. But man, look at this run late. Once she finally gets clear and finds a seam, problem is she has no speed. Problem is you've got to make that decision at the quarter pole. He stayed in and he paid for it, unfortunately. It's the right way. I want my riders to save ground, and hopefully that seam opens up. It does sometimes.
A little bit of racing luck is needed sometimes,
yes, and but when you're coming from that far back, Jenny Highway's another one, a little bit of a closer. You're going to have to deal with that and hope things break your way. Definitely going to use both of those 2. Dancing Till Dusk was in that field, was a big price. Also had some sneaky trouble and ran sneaky good. Came back to run huge, a big number. They were well clear of the rest. Dancing Till Dusk over Factor. And Factor In's a Russell horse that had run okay prior numbers. Yeah. So maybe the light bulb has really gone on for her. I like the draw towards the inside. I don't know if she'll go right to her. I want the target, and I think she's going to get the target with Hell of a Lady and a couple other horses in here. Maybe Click to Confirm. Even Beckon likes to be forward. Proving type. I think she can kind of come back to that race last time out. It was good.
I thought that was a huge performance. Like you said, she was much closer to it. They were sizzling early, and she stayed with them to then take over and win over 1 mile and an 1/8. Now comes back to the mile. That's no problem for her whatsoever. I very much am on board with Dancing Till Dusk in this field. I also give some credit to the number 14, Beckon, who does draw in off the AE list for trainer Michael Merriman. 197 days vacation before returning to the track here today. But in a further pass, she's been running for a little bit. She's a 6-year-old. She's put some decent efforts in after a break. She's capable of outclassing some of these in here, as long as she's kind of ready to run a similar race as last time when she was out finished in the end by Double Fireball. But that was a good effort. That was an honest pace that she was chasing and then overtaking in front.
I think that horse gets position from the outside. It's going to be the last 1/8 of a mile. Can this horse kind of keep going into these types of horses? We shall see. But 5 for 8 in the money over this turf course. The distance is not an issue. Likes the mile. Just might come up just a touch short. We shall see.
Yeah, I have underneath for that reason. The nightcap is race number 9, $5,000 conditioned claiming event. And 1 turn, 1 mile the distance here. Keith, you landed on the number 4, Al Brown. First of the claim coming in here for trainer Kieran McGee. Drops down after just not getting the right kind of trip last time out, but has tactical ability. And a fair few races on the go back that makes you think if he can run back up to one of those performances, he'll get his picture taken.
Complete guess to a point. It's Al Brown's all or nothing. You know, you claim out of an open 8, now you're dropping in. Playing the conditions the right way. You've got the condition. Maybe they knew that coming up. This horse going to have a condition. A little bit of freshening. Going to have to bounce back. We'll have some speed to target. It's known as the burn is going to go. Sees the day will be forward. So Al Brown brings like a B+ effort. He wins.
Yeah, I landed on he's not curly, and I'm hoping that the 9-day turnaround is not going to take too much out of him. But he was tenacious late at Chance going 7 furlongs, so I think he's going to do just fine getting back to the mile. Has won at Laurel Park in the past. I love kind of how he's been consistent in his last couple of runs, where some of these, like those that we just mentioned, are trying to find their better form again.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, a horse that's held numbers is the outside horse. It's going to be a shorter price. Should have had it. I like this horse maybe a little bit better. It's 7. But company the last couple much tougher. Drops, you know, I think into the right spot. Grant Waters' rider's going to be able to get this horse to settle and drop in and draft in behind horses. Only going to have to run the last quarter of a mile. Should be around it.
Yeah, well, let's see how things pan out today. 9 races coming your way. Do come and join us. It's set to be another wonderful day here at Laurel Park. The sun is out. It's Sunday. What else do you want to do, right? Than be playing the ponies here.
Well, that's about it. Drink a couple beers, gamble. That's our life. That's what we do.
Not a bad way to spend your Sunday, right?
No,
That's
no.
kind of what you want to be doing today. So I hope you get the chance to join us as we'll send it upward to Dave Rotman with your scratches and changes.
All right. Good luck, everybody.